The war rages on, even by yourself. Can't stop this fire. Hey there, it's Theo from Geeky Gamer Guy. This video I'll be teaching how to play Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea solo style. A single player will go head to head against the AI controlled enemy faction. Note: this video is intended for players that know how to play the multiplayer game. If you need help with that, I put a link in the description to Rodney Smith's video over at Watch It Played. Let the fight commence. It's not gonna be easy. The setup for a solo game of Heroes of Land, Air, and Sea is very similar to a two-player game, but with a couple of key differences. Select a faction capital city board and gather all components, setting it up like a standard game. Then randomly select another one to be used by the AI, taking that capital city board and flipping it to the solo enemy side. Gather all faction components, except leave one action token and the faction's hero cards in the box. The heroes have their own abilities listed on the board itself. Place the enemy's 3 heroes inside their courtyard space. Do not add 2 serfs and 1 warrior as a player would. They've got enough to start with. Place the 3 resource tokens on the 3 space of the resource track. Place the remaining action token on the start space of the capital city track. Deal a spell card to yourself, but not one to the enemy. They won't be using them. Lastly, shuffle the 8 solo action cards and place them face down next to the enemy board. Let the battle begin. The game is still played in a series of rounds, and the end triggers when one of the 4 X objectives is achieved. All phases are still performed as normal. Unlike the multiplayer game though, the turn order never changes, with alternating turns between the enemy AI and player. Each round the enemy will take 3 actions and the player taking 2. On an enemy's turn, draw the topmost solo action card and place it below the leftmost hero that doesn't have one. The action card will affect that hero and their armies. If the enemy is able to perform the action listed on the card, they must do it. If it can't because of insufficient resources or lacking certain requirements, the action card fails and the hero performs a move action. More on this later. After the enemy has drawn and performed, or failed, 3 cards, the collection phase begins. The player and the AI both collect resources as normal. Additionally, discard the 3 cards below each hero on the enemy board. If there is ever 1 card remaining in the solo action deck, reshuffle the discard pile and form a new one before drawing. Now let's get into specifics on the solo action cards, shall we? Each card lists the type of action it performs, a compass to determine movement if the card fails, and strength and tactics to be used when battling. The different actions on the cards are Recruit, Build, Research, Tax, and Fight. A player can use a serf to follow an action card, except the attack action. For Recruit, the enemy will spend resources on a priority order to place new units wherever the hero that activated is. If the region already has 5 units, then the new unit is placed in the courtyard. Note: only 1 serf can be recruited per action card. The build action is on 2 different cards. One to build towers or vessels in a similar priority level like the recruit action card, while the other advances the capital city, paying the listed order to move the action token 1 space on the capital city track. The research action acts very differently for the enemy AI. When it is drawn and placed under a hero, the spell that matches the same number is cast. Even if the spell has no effect, the AI still earns victory points listed with a spell. The tax action also works a bit differently for the AI. They will take all resources at their current value. You can still follow it, but only receive the value of 1 resource as normal. Aww. Then rotate the resources as normal. Lastly, the fight action allows the matching hero to move up to 2 spaces to battle an army of equal or lesser natural strength. The enemy army can move in any direction. If there's a choice between 2 armies, the enemy picks the army closest to the compass card going clockwise. The player selects a tactic card as normal. Then draw the topmost enemy action card. On the bottom is a strength bonus plus the tactic the AI is using based on if it's attacking or defending. If your tactic card cancels the enemy's tactic, the strength bonus is lost. The enemy also gains a victory point for battling just like a player. If any of these action cards should not be fulfilled judging by the fail description at the bottom of the card, then the hero and their army moves 1 space according to the direction on the compass of the card. If there's no valid space in that direction, then the army moves to the next valid one clockwise to the needle, orienting the compass to be the same as the one found at the top left of the game board. The enemy hero also collects 1 resource for every resource region it enters. Another note: the hero can never go back to the enemy's capital city. Always know when in doubt to go clockwise from the compass needle. When a hero or vessel enters a space containing exploration tokens, they collect and place them on the enemy capital city board. They also immediately gain 1 victory point per token. If the movement direction is toward a fairy route, the hero will move on it. If it is a branching fairy route, the hero will never use the letters or numbers to wrap around the board. When a hero moves and there's an empty sea or air vessel in the space, the hero will board the vessel along with another unit, prioritizing warriors. The hero now always moves 3 when in a vessel. If there are other units in the same space, they are left behind. Goodbye. When that hero recruits, add the next recruit if there's still room in the vessel. But all other recruits made by the hero are sent to the capital city board. When using an air vessel, it does not move along ferry routes or wrap around the board. It can move through the center sea region, but may not stop there. If its movement would end on a sea region, it will instead go to the nearest land region according to the compass. Enemy sea vessels can dock and undock without using movement. And just like air vessels, it'll always end its movement on a land space if possible. Enemy sea vessels are also the only way a hero would wrap around the board. The game ends when one of the 4 X objectives are achieved, or the enemy gets to the last space on their capital city track. Then one final round is played, unless a capital city is destroyed, ending the game immediately. Scoring is then tallied up just like a normal game. The one with the most victory points wins. After playing head to head, you may want to add 1 or 2 more enemies to simulate a 3 or 4 player game. I put a link in the description to the action card files on BGG. Just print those out and you can have an epic game anytime you want. That's it! Hopefully this gives you all the rules you need to play. If you have any questions, let me know in the comments below and I'll answer them as soon as possible. Thanks for watching, and don't forget to like and subscribe. Plus hit the bell to not miss out on future videos. Until next time, stay geeky, keep gaming. Say I don't ever like this. Only 1 serf can be recruited per action card. I will redo it. 1 to build resources, 1 to build resources. They're building them. They're gonna build those resources. They're making them come out of nowhere, those resources. Description to the action card listed on the BGG. On the BGG. It's the BGG.